Kyera in my pocket, coming to you from Ireland. I have to tell you, so I am in this stunning hotel room in Ireland, in Killarney, and I completely forgot to pack my microphone and my camera. Okay, so we're gonna deal with the sound, we're gonna deal with the grainy visuals. I also forgot my ring light, so here we are. Okay, I can't not do these podcasts because there's so much that has been coming through since I've been here, and I've only been here since last night. My clients start arriving in like 5 days, so I actually had this message last night, and I was like, I am doing a podcast on this. So I have a former client, and she reached out to me because she had claimed something. Like there's something that she wants to do that is big. Like, have you ever found yourself in a position where you're like, I'm doing the thing. Let's say maybe it's starting a business, maybe it's investing in a coach, maybe it's a weight loss journey. Like there's something that you've declared, there's something that you've claimed, there's something that you've said yes to. And then all of a sudden, after you say yes, shit hits the fan. This is what they messaged me about. They were like, so I declared the thing and now shit's hitting the fan. And she was like listing off the things that have been happening. And so she asked me, number one, why does this happen? And number two, how do you move through it? Like, what do you do when all of this is happening? So let me start with the first question. Why, after you claim something that expands you, that would require you to think differently, act differently, move differently, maybe it moved you, likely, actually, it moved you out of your comfort zone. Why, when we do something like that, does it seem like things sometimes get worse? Okay, this is so common. This is so normal. I have experienced this so many times. Like the moment that I said yes to my very first investment, all of a sudden, like the noise and the volume of self-doubt increased. It like 10x. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Why did I do this? Why did I say yes to this? How do I get out of this? Right? Like some of you have said yes to something, you've invested money in something. And then whether it's a day later, an hour later, a week later, a month later, you're like, fuck this. Why did I say yes to this? You'll even start convincing yourself that this was a waste of money. You never should have done it. By the way, anytime somebody is in a conversation with themselves about an investment being a waste of money, there's some conversation of lack that is happening in the background. Because if you believe in the law of attraction and you believe in manifestation, then you would remember and you would understand that you're not separate from wealth. You're like, that's a frequency that you constantly have the ability to tap into. And so if we're having a conversation of lack, that only ever happens if we don't feel like we have enough in our current state. So why does shit seem to hit the fan when we agree to do something? I'm thinking actually back to a time when during one of my Ireland retreats, I had a client who, like, her plane was delayed. She was late getting here. It was like all this, there were just obstacles. And I said, welcome to your retreat. This is all part of it. It is all part of it, right? Like we often think that it's just supposed to be smooth sailing. I remember even when I signed up for a private event and I flew to Cuixmala. And I had a connecting flight in Mexico City. So I was supposed to get from Detroit to Mexico City to Cuixmala. I was arriving early so that I had more time at the villa, which cost me I was over $1,000 for the extra night. And my plane, of course, got delayed, which had me miss my connecting flight. So I had to stay in Mexico City. And then I couldn't get that room comped. Like there was no getting that money back. So I just had to eat that. And I remember being like, you have one of two options. You can continue to just be in a state of abundance and in a state of gratitude. And you can find the magic in staying in this hotel room in Mexico City, which I didn't want to do. But I'm like, you can do that, or you can fucking complain about it. And you can be in lack and you can do all those things. But the reality is, one is going to have you experience life on a greater scale than the other. And so when shit hits the fan, when we sign up to do something, it's really because it has to. First of all, there tends to be an unraveling process. So everything that has kept your life status quo, everything that has kept your life the same, the moment I always talk about, like, think about a ball of yarn. The moment you say yes to something that is bigger than you, that ball of yarn, it's like it starts to unravel. Any and everything in your life that is not going where you're going has to fall away. And we will always be initiated into greatness. We will always be initiated into the next thing, the next level, expansion, all of that. And that doesn't come with ease. That's not like floating down a lazy river in a raft, sipping a pina colada. That's like whitewater rafting, and you're just getting hammered in the face left and right with water, and you feel like you're drowning, and you're like, get me off this fucking ride. But the only way to get to like that end destination is to stay on, no matter how hard, no matter how bumpy, no matter how challenging, no matter how scared you are, no matter how difficult, like you have to stay on the ride. And I find when people are wanting to go bigger, and when I say go bigger, I mean they want to fucking change their life, whether they want to make more money, they want to get into a new relationship, they want to have more self love, more confidence, more pleasure. Like there's something about their life, their business, their bank account, something about their life that they want to change. And when that becomes the case for them and they decide to do something that is going to support changing their life, fuck yeah, shit's going to hit the fan. So I always look at that like it is part of the expansion process. It is part of the initiation. So let me go to the second question here, which is when that's happening, what do you do? So I'm going to share what I do. First of all, I have a mentor. Mentorship is so important. My mentor is way ahead of me. He has led transformation around the globe on stages. Like he has done things that majority of people in this world will never ever ever do. And I don't just mean in the form of stepping on stages or being cause for transformation, but I mean like the capacity that he has to create change in his own life. For me, what I've seen from him is it's truly unlimited. There's nothing that he sets his mind to and doesn't find a way to accomplish. And so when you're around the kind of people that have a high standard of themselves and of their life, and they go after the thing and they're challenged, but they overcome it, there's something really powerful that happens inside of that kind of proximity. So for me, I have mentorship, I have support. I'm always learning from somebody who is a million steps ahead of me. And I remember that I asked for it. I think that's the biggest thing. One of the things I tell my clients is lean the fuck in. Like, bring it on. That's kind of the attitude that I have with the universe. Like, I'm not here to play it safe or to stay safe. I'm not here for things in my life to stay the same. So I look at it like me telling the universe, listen, I'm clear that on this journey, especially in entrepreneurship and being like the creator of your own life, your own results, your own business, your own financial wins, like you've got to be in a state of creation and generation and self-trust. Like you've got to constantly be generating results because you're responsible. I think this is one of the number one reasons why people don't actually succeed in entrepreneurship, because they realize, even if it's not a conscious realization, they realize that fuck me, I'm responsible for my paycheck. I'm responsible for my results. I'm responsible for clients, for marketing, for selling, positioning. I'm responsible for a lot of things. There was a time where entrepreneurship was really glorified and it was highlighted as something that was just so easy for people to make money. And it's not fucking easy. So when shit hits the fan, I lean into it. I think one of the common mistakes that people make is, and it's a natural one, right? But they resist the challenge. They resist and resent what's coming up. And I look at it like, so if you're not part of the Rich Bitch community, which is obviously based off my book, Rich Bitch Money Goals, Rich Bitch are the 9 principles that are an acronym for change. Inside of that community, we look at the challenges that come up as that opportunity for us to evolve. Like think about a caterpillar that becomes a butterfly. I can't imagine that the metamorphosis process is peaceful. I can't, like you're literally transforming from a caterpillar to a butterfly. Do you think that that's comfortable? Like, could that actually be comfortable? I would think that there's some pain and some stretching that is involved with that. But then you see the butterfly come out of that cocoon and it's like, holy fuck, it's stunning. And it's spreading its wings and it's flying. But the process to get there, I cannot freaking imagine. And I don't know, I haven't talked to butterflies, but maybe I should put that on the list, right? But I can't imagine that that's easy. And so when you're claiming something big in your life that is bigger than anything you've done or bigger than any version of yourself that you've yet to become, fuck yeah, you're going to be stretched. You're going to be challenged. You're going to be initiated. I like to say, tell the universe to bring it on, just like bring it on, and make sure that you have, whether it's mentorship or great friends or a strong circle that can support you through that. Because if you're with small minded people, you're likely going to see small results. You're going to take small steps. It's going to take a long fucking time if you ever even get there. So I think taking inventory of who you spend time with really matters. Another thing that I do is I'm like, there's something in this challenge that is going to serve me greatly if I can see it from a bird's eye view. So a lot of times when someone is going through something challenging, naturally we have a very real human experience of that pain, of that frustration, of that sadness, resentment, whatever it is. But those are the very emotions that there are for you to overcome to get to the other side. But when we're going through something like that, a lot of times people get swept up in the storm rather than being able to actually take a step back and just observe it. So I like to ask myself, what lesson, what opportunity for growth is available for me in this? And what would my rich bitch future self do? How would she approach this situation? If I were to put myself in the future and I'm living the exact life that I want, I have everything I could possibly imagine, how would the power and the confidence and the self-trust from her show up and meet this challenge? See, most people are meeting challenges from a past version of themselves, and there's no power in that. So I like to ask myself, what would my rich bitch future self do? What would she do? How would she show up to this? And then I move according to that. And is it hard? Fuck yeah. If it were easy, everyone would do it, but that's the move. So I look at it like when somebody messages me and they're like, my world is blowing up, I'm like, congratulations. This is a great fucking thing. It might not feel like it. And in my book, Rich Bitch Money Goals, I do talk about the tower card moment, right? So if you have read, or if you have a tarot deck and you've read the cards and you're familiar with them, you know, if you get the tower card, right, it depicts like a structure that is being hit by lightning and it's falling apart. It's like, it's chaos, but there's a clearing that happens when what once was is demolished so that we can actually have space for the new thing. And the process of the demolition part is, yeah, that's the hard part. But if you can actually trust that, first of all, everything in life is temporary. Your life is temporary. Your time here is temporary. The situation that you're in is temporary. If you can remember that and call back your power, and you can actually see the gift in the challenge, again, I know it's easier said than done, but if you can see it from that perspective, you will likely find a door, a solution, or a way of being that you otherwise couldn't see.
This podcast was brought to you by my international best-selling book, Rich Bitch Money Goals, Becoming the Energetic Match to Wealth, which is available at over 39,000 retailers across the nation. So make sure you pick up your copy today. You can find it in places like Amazon, Target, Indigo, Barnes & Nobles, Walmart, and more.